Greetings and welcome back, carnivores. Today's Christmas. Christmas for me, anyway. It's end of middle of March, but still it's Christmas. Every time Amazon shows up at my door, it's Christmas. Bought a new sausage stuffer. Pretty excited to unbox it with you today because today is Sausage Sunday. Going to be making some sausages today, and I'm not gonna lie. I've already taken a look at it. So pretty excited about it. Hand crank, of course. And this is it. Beautiful. Nice and heavy. I may have to clamp it to the countertop, but I don't think so because it's quite heavy. But we will find that out once we get into it. Anyway, get rid of this. And get after this. It doesn't hurt that red's my favorite color. And anyway, as I said, hand crank. Gear driven hand crank. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to take this all the way out. Fast forward. All right, so as you can see, hand cranks all the way to the top to get it out of the way so that you can, there we go, so that you can actually pull this sideways so you can stuff it. Comes right off. Holds 25 pounds. Pretty excited to get this started. So next thing in line to do, of course, is to take the bone out of my pork shoulder. And come on back for that. I'm going to show you how easy that is to do. Thanks, guys. Stick around. All right, here we are with our bone-in pork butt roast. Weighing in at a whopping 5.5 kilograms, which is a 3.292 price per kilo. Sorry, for a total price of $18. Bargain. Anyway, got this from Robert's Meat and Kitchener's. Now let's get busy. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Oh, didn't get all the bag off it. Look at that. Anyway, taking the bones out of one of these things, or taking the bone out of one of these things, is really very simple. And you only need to do this for making sausage, of course, because if you're cooking this thing whole, low and slow, then the bone just slides right out after when you're finished cooking, right? And of course, my mama pooch is there. Hi, Mom. She had a birthday back in January, I guess it was. And her baby, the other Hellraiser that we have around here, just turned 2 last week. Anyway, safety first. Now this bone goes, it's the blade bone, obviously, right? And it goes from here, roughly, well, not roughly, to here. And it's a straight shot right across here on the flat side, which is pretty easy to take off. Like so. And we just go down and expose the far side of it. Now this side is the one that's tricky because there's the ridge here, the 7 bone, right? This muscle right here, folks, is the flat iron on the pork carcass. As you can see, that nasty bit of gristle in the center. And this bit and this bit are oh so tender. But on the pork carcass, that's where the flat iron is. That's where it is on the beef carcass as well. It sits underneath the blade bone. So we're just going to come down here like this. And like I said, you got to kind of scoop it out. Come over the top of it, which is right there. You can feel it with your fingers. It's just underneath the skin. And come back down on the other side. This bone used to be called the paddle bone because indigenous people used to use these bones to paddle their canoes with. You see how it looks like a paddle? Anyway, that came out relatively clean. And now we've got a boneless pork shoulder butt, which, if you come back in a second, I'm going to cut into strips, and then we're going to put in the freezer to set it up so that it freezes a little bit. Get it ready for grinding, because it's so much easier to grind when it's a little bit frozen. But we're going to get after that with another knife in 1 second, so come on back for that. And I'm back. Should have been prepared, which I wasn't, and I rarely am. But as I said before, I'm going to slice this into manageable pieces to go through my grinder. And that involves slicing it in half first. And then we're just going to, a little piece of the gristle portion of the blade bone right here. Take that out. Give that to my dogs. And then manageable pieces for the grinder. And we can fast forward through this. You get the idea. And there we go. Next step is a sheet tray with some parchment paper and into the freezer for 20 minutes, half hour. All right, like I said, I cut them into strips as you saw, and I laid them out on the parchment paper on a sheet tray and put them in the freezer to get them nice and cold. Now it's time to go get this guy out of the freezer. Okay, make sure you get good contact with your auger. This gear was worm gear here with the gear at the back of the machine. Then the blade goes in with the sharp edge facing out, using the coarse plate today, and that goes into those grooves right here, and then everything just gets locked into place with the ring. Make sure it's locked in place, and it is. Okay, so we get this tray on here, and we are all set. Whoops. Lock this bad boy in place. Make sure everything's turning, and it is. All right, so move the coffee, move the meat, and let's get ready to grind. My overkill tray, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. Bear with the noise. I'm probably going to edit this out anyway. Okay, so I am cheating a little bit today because I bought a kit from PS Seasonings, and I believe it's in Wisconsin. And today we're making a bratwurst, onion and garlic bratwurst. And the kit comes with everything you need, including the sausage casings and the seasoning, which is the cure mixed in as well. Now, what I had was 5.5 kilograms of ground pork shoulder, or what's ground now, but pork shoulder, which is roughly 12.2 pounds. This box makes enough sausage, or they send you enough cure and seasonings to make 25 pounds of sausage. So I just cut everything in half. So let's get down to it. I've already got my seasoning mix. So let's just divvy it up here. And away we go. I know I'm cheating using a mix, but I thought I'd go this way and give these guys a try. PS Seasonings. 2 to 3 cups of water. So let's start with 2. It says distilled water, but I've got filtered water here, so that's going to have to be good enough because I don't have any distilled water. There's 2 cups to start. Should be wearing a glove, but I'm not. So let's just get busy. Let's get down and dirty. And as you can see, it's quite a coarse grind. That's okay. I know for bratwurst it's supposed to be a finer grind, but I'm not going to grind it a second time. I'm just going to go with what we've got here and see how it turns out. And I also told a fib at the beginning there when I was unboxing my my new sausage stuffer. I inadvertently said it would hold 25 pounds of meat. That's not true. It holds 5 pounds of meat, which is almost what we've got here. So it'll hold this much plus a little bit. I hope I'm wearing a head. Obviously, I'm wearing a head mount for my camera. And hopefully this is all in the shot because I can't see what I'm doing in the monitor until I'm finished doing what I'm doing. So, all right, we are, I think, at the consistency we're supposed to be at. I've got the horn already with some casings already on it. I'm going to level with you. I had a little bit of trouble putting the casings on this horn. And I'm wondering if perhaps putting a little vegetable oil on here wouldn't help speed that process up a little bit, because it was kind of tedious to get this on here to this point. Anyway, it wasn't really cooperating with me very much. All right, so let's get this stuffing in here. Okay, I'm going to go with that for my first go around. Need to get this guy out of the way. Then you can tip it forward. All right, so we crank it down. And it also has right here, you see this? That's a valve to let air out of the top, which is cool. And if you look down here, we're going to see sausage slowly start to appear as I crank. Got some air coming out, which is good. And we're off to the races. So I'm just going to tie a little knot in the end of this. And then we get started. And here we go. I don't want to overstuff because then I'll split the casings when I go to link them. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see if we can't go in a circle here. There we go. And I think that's just about it. Back it up a turn or two. Leave enough room for a little knot. And there's our first one. Now Now I need to get another sausage casing. First really warm spring day, and lots of motorcycles are flying by my house. As I've said before, I live in the country and this road is very popular with motorcyclists, myself included. And now that I'm noticing, as I'm getting to the bottom of this, I don't have the weight of the sausage in the machine to help me hold it down. So a clamp would help when you get to this point. As you can see, I'm moving it all over the place, and I'm at the end. Okay, so there is going to be some waste right in here. There's nothing you can do about it. I like to do this. And you bring the next one up through here, bend it over, force it through like that, pinch it, take it down, put that piece through there, and as you can see, you've got links forming. Now these two guys are going to be too short to go through here, but let's force them. There we go. Links. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm gonna take a break, wash my hands, clean up a little bit, and we'll be right back. So now I've done what I should have done in the first place and gloved up. I've got my sausages down, and my smoke generator is doing its thing, as you can see. And we're just gonna pick it up, like so, and add it to the bottom of my barbecue. Then we're going to add our links. I know where they're touching, they're not going to get smoked, but I can live with that. All right, folks. That's that. A little taste test later. Close her up. Open that damper fully. Open the bottom damper fully so it can breathe. And let her go. The leftover bits that were in the throat of the machine and in the tube itself, I fried up a couple of patties. Let's give this a taste. Please forgive the chewing noise. It's a tad salty, but flavors there, very, very tasty. Very tasty. It doesn't taste much like a bratwurst, but part of that is the texture as well, the consistency. Because as you saw, I only ground it once through the coarse plate, and bratwursts are typically a finer grind than that. But very tasty. I hope you like what you see, folks. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the good stuff. Down there in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see my logo. That's a subscribe button. Please hit that. It helps me get to the 1,000 viewers or 1,000 subscriber mark that YouTube, for some reason, arbitrarily designates that in order for them to take you seriously, and you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. And I'm not there yet, so please help me along. We'll see you next Thursday for another video. I'm Dougie the Butcher, and stay hungry.